Not just the social contract, but like the contract. Likewise, the government takes your data in a bunch of ways, right? Like some parts of the government know about your health data, right? Some parts of the government know about your, say, criminal record. But the general agreement has been like these individual lines of information, these databases on US citizens, should be used exclusively and selectively by the organizations that have need of them, right? Like the census communicates a lot of things to a lot of people, but they're not working off of every bit of information every department of the government has on you because, for one, that would be a logistical nightmare, but also like it would be a gross violation of your privacy. Do you want every police officer knowing your income, marital status, medical status, everything about you? Do you want every interaction that you ever have with every person in society to be pre-gamed by all the information the government has? What if you add in surveillance cameras? By the way, AI face detection surveillance cameras are already being installed across the United States. They have spy drones that go above us and monitor things like traffic and, faces as best as they can, which is pretty good, which means that it's getting reasonably possible. This is how they got Luigi, I think, by the way. It's getting reasonably possible for the government to just always know where you are, which is, to a lot of people, right, this is kind of like the cyberpunk dystopia that we've been warning about for a really long time, Yes, the face detection cameras tested in Israel on Palestinians. They've come home to us. That's probably how they got Luigi, by the way. It's the reason why we got extremely spotty information on how they got the tip-off on Luigi's location in a different state, miles and miles away from where Brian Thompson was killed. And the reason why somehow, even though it would be in the police's best interest, nobody received a payout for the tip, the promised payout for the tip to for Luigi. So the narrative from the government is that somebody recognized Luigi miles and miles and miles away from where Brian Thompson was killed. They called the police, and even though they were so far away from that scene, even though the police had probably been receiving many calls because of this ongoing manhunt, they identified him by his ID, called the police, and the police showed up there so quickly he hadn't even left yet. Just one person saying, oh, this ID, this guy looks like the person you're looking for, I bet it's him. And they showed up that quickly. And then, even though the person who gave the tip to the cops was supposed to receive $60,000 in a reward, the police said, oh, due to a technicality, we can't actually provide it. And nobody went to the media saying, hey, the cops fleeced me out of $60,000. Pretty weird, huh? Why? Illegal surveillance. It's everywhere. And that is 100% how they got him. Some people say that it was illegal surveillance done in the machines that take your order with like the automated McDonald's, you that, which, if I recall correctly, there was actually a lawsuit settled from Steak and Shake. Was it Steak and Shake? The Shake Shack? Which one was it? Where they were in fact using their cameras on those devices to like sell info. Was it Steak and Shake? Someone will confirm for me eventually. Yeah. What was I getting at here? It was Steak and Shake. You found the article. Okay, I'm not mad at you. Thank you. Steak and Shake installs facial recognition at self-ordering kiosks. I think this is how they got Luigi, and it's why they haven't been forthcoming about it, because if the government is in fact using information like this, it could be illegal surveillance, which would mean that it would be inadmissible in court, would cause issues. So I don't know what kind of bullshit they're going to go with when they finally go to trial with this, but, cops have tech that connects to every phone in a block. Yeah, remember in The Dark Knight Returns, the second Christopher Nolan Batman movie, where he had the device that plugged into every phone and knew where everyone was? That's not sci-fi. They basically have that. They've had it for a while. It's not super new. But the point of Palantir is to take all of this information. It was just in the first one? No, it was in the second one, because the first one he fought the Scarecrow, and in the second one he fought the Joker, and he used it to find the Joker. The Dark Knight, whatever. The point that I'm getting at is that the job of Palantir is to take all of these disconnected systems of surveillance, legitimate ones, like, say, for example, the IRS getting your income information, and illegitimate ones, like these, facial recognition, surveillance cams, so on and so forth, and consolidate them into a master master list that they can use to effectively control the country with no opposition. Democracy would cease to matter at this point. They would have essentially limitless control. The only thing that they would need are competent administrators of the data, and as long as they have that, there's no way to stop them, basically. It's pretty much like an endgame scenario. You have to rely on entropy to end things at that point, or like a meteor hitting the Earth, or like a big volcanic eruption or something like that. Competent? Well, the people over at Palantir are competent, you know, unfortunately. This is what people are going to be driving around. Oh, lovely, from the Palantir YouTube channel. We'll have to show something off to the investors, I suppose. No point in being subtle. No one's stopping you anyway.
Modern battle space. Titan is the Army's next-generation, deep-sensing intelligence ground station enabled by artificial intelligence and machine learning, and represents the first of its kind modernization program.
That's great.
Models, wherever the mission takes them, even as the threat landscape evolves. What sets Titan apart from prior capabilities is the decisive advantage that the software-enabled capabilities will give to soldiers. This includes faster, deeper sensing that can handle modern sensors at scale. More accurate targeting enabled by cutting-edge AI and machine learning.
It's a big sensor truck. It's a big sensor array in a truck. And presumably it's armored. So, you know. She's literally just saying words. This shit means nothing. Well, apart from, okay, so you've caught them, okay? The evil company that wants to control the world is deeply insincere, okay? You've caught them. Don't make me go back to that. What was it? Was it Peter Thiel, or was it the other guy who said the beautiful thing about technology is that it allows us to ignore democracy? You know what I'm talking about, right? ICE has been using a license plate reader program that allows the police to track people across the country. AI-enabled camera networking. This is, by the way, in case you were wondering, like, where the hype for AI was coming from, the hype for NFTs was being driven by people who wanted to legitimize and enhance involvement in cryptocurrency because it's an unregulated financial speculative market that they can use to make lots of money. The people who have been pushing AI into every single product have been, in large part, deep state MIC-backed ghouls who need very sophisticated AI, well-trained AI algorithms so they can incorporate it into the real reason this technology exists, which is not to help you with your Google searches. It's not to help you create fake images or videos. It's to help create a surveillance state unparalleled in all of human history. Technology that would allow them to essentially control the country with no opposition. You know, you wouldn't even be able to, I mean, it would be proper 1984 business, right? You think you're getting a job if you have a history of making social media posts defending unions? Why the f would they accept you? That's a risk. And that company pays out big to the government and their affiliated programs to make sure they have access to the database. Yeah, I'm considering hiring this one person. They have really good extracurriculars. They have a really good GPA. Let me just run their name and basic information into the program. Day later, you get the info back. Oh, it turns out that they have sympathy to Palestinians. Don't want that. That's a risk. That opens us up to liabilities. Nope. It sounds like a conspiracy theory. It's so f***ed up. Nothing that I'm describing right now, by the way, is speculative. This is literally what it's for. That is literally what this is for. We're essentially going to be getting the Chinese social credit score, except it's going to be 100,000 times worse and more integrated into society at every level. You know, we've made our jokes, we've had our fun, but yeah, this is where we're at right now. And privately owned, yippee. Well, it doesn't really matter, right? They work directly with the government. They're effectively agents of the government. Democrats will not stop this from happening. In fact, they don't even talk about it. I am being conspiratorial, by the way, about the fact that when you look up Palantir News, you see people talking about their stock price, the street, Money Morning? Seriously? Not a bunch of news articles on the fact that an AI surveillance company has been given unprecedented access to data scraped from Doge in the federal government, that Trump is working directly with them to do this? None of that? No? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be a little conspiratorial about that. Oh, also in the news, Yahoo Finance and Fox Business. That's great. Trump's AI investment will be huge for Amazon, Palantir, and more. Oh, no. Great. For sure. No, for sure. It's just numbers. It's just an investment opportunity, guys. It's not the end of society as we know it. Come on. MSN has an article on it that frames it as an investment. Palantir is reportedly building a US spy machine. How should you play Palantir stock here? Oh my God. From 1 hour ago. It's like a parody. Like the kind of shit that you would see in the headlines in like a satire, you know? Arasaka just trademarked the human genome. Big play for stock market movers? Like that kind of shit, you know? Wayland Yutani reveals like new xenotech integrated spaceship travel and colonization device. Investment opportunity? I don't know. According to the New York Times, the NASDAQ listed company is creating a database of Americans based on personal data pulled from various federal agencies. Trump tapped